According to the Childline National Exam Stress Survey, over 96% of students that responded to this questionnaire said that they felt anxious and stressed out about their exams. Now, with test anxiety being one of the biggest problems that students are faced with, I decided that in today's video I will be sharing with you 10 psychological test-taking tips to help you ace your exams and, more importantly, understand what's going on up here so you can de-stress and kick some major butt on your finals. Let's do this. Number 1, functional fixedness. This is a type of cognitive bias that involves seeing objects, formulas, or concepts only in their primary or customary manner. This just means that you are unable to problem solve creatively and just see things at face value. Someone that is bad in math, aka moi, when I see the number 10, it's the number 10. I don't think of it in my mind as, wait a second, 10 can be 5 plus 5, 5 times 2, etc., etc. When you are faced with an exam and you try to just plug in a formula and it just doesn't work, try to think out of the box. Try to look at that formula and just move it around. See if you can use your third eye and go beyond what you see. Number 2, the Einstellung Effect. This simply refers to when you are trying to use the same solution or the same method to solve something that worked in the past, and you just become a little bit blind as to what is in front of you. So on a test, the way this affects you is that, let's say you have a long answer question. In the past, you've always answered extended response questions with bullet points, so ta 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 ta. However, in this particular exam, the teacher specifically asks you to elaborate and have an introduction, a middle, or an end. If you're stressed out, and the Einstellung Effect says, you will not see these instructions. They will kind of become invisible to you, and you will just revert to what you are comfortable in doing and to what originally gave you those A's. A way to combat this is read every single detail of that question, guys. If you can, if you are allowed, bring to your exam highlighters, or just use your pencil and underline, highlight, make little circles to just extract key things that you need to keep in mind when answering the question. This is tremendously helpful and has saved my bum so many times in the past. Number 3, the Incubation Effect. When you're writing an exam and you are experiencing a quote-unquote mental block, so you're faced with a problem and for the life of you, you're oh my god, I don't know how to solve this, I am panicking, I'm so stuck, I don't understand it, and your mind just goes to mashed potato mode. Stay with me, it's about to get really interesting. When you are reading a problem, you are focusing on it. When you are actively trying to solve it, you are thus conscious of what you are doing. Now, when you just leave the problem and go do another one, just I'll deal with this later, let me just keep doing this exam so I don't fall behind. The problem that you left behind is actually in your subconscious, so in the back, and guess what? Your subconscious is still working on it as you consciously work on other problems. So that's why a lot of people, when they come back to the problem, they report seeing it with a new set of eyes, or even get that aha, and now it makes sense moment. See? I told you your subconscious mind is a powerful being, so let it do its duty. If you're blocked, if you're stuck, leave it, let it go for the moment, and come back to it. Number 4, short-term memory retrieval. Short-term memory is stored and retrieved sequentially, so in a particular order. So let's say when you're asked, is this a type of defense mechanism? And you're like, oh my god, I don't remember. But let me just go over the list in my mind. Okay, I learned the defense mechanism 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, it was number 4. Oh, so it is a defense mechanism. When you don't know the answer and when you have learned something in a particular list, go through that list. In contrast to that, number 5 is long-term memory retrieval. Now, as opposed to short-term memory, long-term memory is stored and retrieved by association. So researchers suggest that when you can't remember something on an exam, you close your eyes and try to visualize where you learned the material or where you studied it. Just so, you remember when I gave that example of when you go in the kitchen, your mind suddenly just open up kitchen related drawers in your head. So when you're in the kitchen, you think of like food, recipes, microwave. This also works in an exam. Number 6, brain priming. Now, when you first sit down to take a test, do you just like open the test and just start going question 1, question 2, one after the other? Science has shown that this is a bit of a no-no because your mind is a muscle. Would you just like start running a marathon before you stretch? Your mind needs time to stretch. What you should do on an exam is go through it. First of all, have a first look at how it looks, how it feels, what type of questions are you going to be asked, and then just go and answer the easy questions, the ones that come naturally to you, the ones that are like, yep, it's definitely this one. And then after that, return to the hard questions and then start doing it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why? Because you'd be surprised, but number 1, some of the answers of the hard questions are kind of like split or distributed in the other questions in the exam. This has happened to me multiple times and it might happen to you, so watch out. And number 2, and more importantly, your mind has time to just wake up. Number 7, the Yerkes-Dodson Law. Now this is really interesting and I highly recommend you look this up. It is basically an empirical relationship between arousal and performance developed by the 2 psychologists that their names is in the law. They found this area of best performance where stress is at a perfect level where it actually makes you a better problem solver and makes you more attentive or more aroused and more awake and just like bam. But the second you cross that little line, the slope goes and that's when you panic, and that's what we don't want. The key takeaway of this point is that students, when they're stressed and anxious about an exam, they think it's a bad thing. They think stress is going to hinder them, and because they stress so much, they're going to fail, and that stresses them out more. But at this point, I urge you to see a bit of stress is natural and a good thing. It means you care. However, again, be careful. More stress than necessary is not good, and you should really try to speak to either your friends, family, or a professional if you experience severe stress symptoms or even have panic attack during exams. Number 8, the emotional amygdala. The amygdala being the hub of emotional response. When you are really stressed out and when you are anxious and overthinking everything, that region of the brain is like bam, so full of action-packed, non-stop, like Bruce Willis type of stuff, that it drains all the other areas of your brain. The prefrontal cortex that you need to perform well on exam is out of juice because this part is inflated, Number 9, cognitive switching penalty. Now, I've talked in a number of videos how multitasking actually hinders your performance and is proven to reduce productivity by 40%. I know some students that, especially in math exams or à développement, so long questions, what they do is they ping pong between questions, trying to solve them all at once, or just not being able to focus on one thing at a time because, again, they're so freaked out that they might lose time that they think that multitasking and doing different problems at once will save them time and help them finish everything when the clock runs out. I am telling you not to do that. So when you're doing a problem, do it 1000% that problem. And if you cannot solve it, go to another one. But when you go to another problem, focus 1000% on that problem. Trust your subconscious mind is doing the work on the previous one. Okay, like we talked about. Subconscious, I love you. Just pat it there and trust it. because it knows what it's doing, okay? And finally, number 10, availability heuristic bias. This is when a decision maker, aka you, relies on the information that is readily available to solve a problem instead of examining other alternatives. An example of this is when you are faced with a multiple choice question and you just use the information that is found in that question to try to figure out what the best possible choice is, instead of, I don't know, using what you learn and what's stored in there to help you come to a better conclusions. But with that being said, guys, I want to say that no matter what grade you get on the finals, I still love you, no matter what. If you put in the effort, if you gave it your best shot, Anna Mascara loves you, okay? And you should love yourself just as much. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and please subscribe to me if you like what you see, because I post videos every Thursday. Bye guys, good luck on your finals. We can do it.